This meeting is being recorded. The recording does not constitute the official record of this meeting. All documents from this meeting are available on the school board page of the district website. Call the meeting to order. We stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. We'll talk about revisions later. It's just the one we have.
Just the one is tabled up the.
We just have one, yeah, number 5 here. New public comments, see one here, no? I'll take an approval for the minutes, please.
I move to approve the minutes. I second the motion.
Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimously. Right into the superintendent report, please.
Yeah, it's so really pretty straightforward. I put the official count of February in, everything's in there, that's gonna be how we're gonna be funding next year. So we're still able to take advantage of 3-year averaging. So we'll get into that a little bit more with the budget committee, but you know, about where we figured we were gonna.
No monumental changes, unfortunately.
No, I mean, we're starting to pick up the handful of elementary kids, to be honest. Yeah. Nothing fun with them. Or mine.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Well, we're overall down 6, right?
From fall? Yeah.
And usually we're gonna go up with skiers.
It did seem like we got a ton of those this year.
Well, I guess.
That's
The
so-
students, the students that came in are more gonna be here for longer term.
Well, that's good.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
They come here for work or something else as opposed for vacation.
yeah, to ski.
There was a big family last year of 4 that we didn't pick up. That didn't, they decided not to come back for the winter, I think for this.
Yeah.
And then the second piece of my report is more, it's one fact and one just interesting piece of information. So we received from House Bill 408, our anticipated 634,000 from 4 donors. The cap this year was 7.2 million. And that went in 7 minutes and 17 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
Public
Wow.
school in the state. So I just printed off the stats for you.
Yeah, like who got what?
We got the most.
Yeah.
I just printed off all the, this is public knowledge.
That's
I'm not, you know, keep that's not public. So you can see the word is out.
Yeah,
People are getting this. And we didn't have, we were done in 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes.
Wow.
yeah,
With ours, but you can see on there that the good thing that this demonstrates, I think, all the information that you're looking at right there from the public schools in Montana. This is good information for the legislature to continue the program and continue increasing it as they they would.
Yeah.
And then also to really look at things because if people are taking this much advantage of a ancillary system to fund their schools that
yeah,
probably, you know, something's up.
something needs to be fixed.
What's the number in this column?
Numbers they submitted, the donations in.
So it's
Okay.
it's donations entered, the small number. Total donations and then there, some of them have a third column, those were donations that were rejected. And then the last column is the total that they received. Like I was surprised, Sweetgrass County High School, I'm not even 100% sure where that is. You know, Mr. Doherty,
That's on the way to Billings, right?
Yeah,
what is it?
Big Timber? No,
Yeah.
Sweetgrass.
What's
Sweetgrass
Sweetgrass
County.
County High School?
Sweetgrass. I thought that was.
Is that Big Timber?
I thought that was.
It's on,
Big
it's in that
Timber.
area.
So Big Timber High School, that's a county
Yeah.
high school.
Mhm.
So I mean, they had 404,000, but they only ended up with 202. So there was some interesting ones on there. Again, that's more just kind of informational
Yeah.
and interesting.
Tell me,
Yep.
how does this work? The donations entered are what we got donations. And then how is the. I don't know anything about this.
So it's It's a dollar for dollar tax credit.
Okay,
So an individual or organizer or an LLC can be $200,000. They can do 400 Mary filing
Right.
separately.
right, okay,
And then there's a cap in the state of 7.2 million.
okay,
So then we just give them a form, they give us the information that we need, they give us a form and a check. I think, so they did it this year after January 2nd,
okay,
and then that's a prepayment on the taxes from the full. So they have to have a large tax bill and they have to have cash.
I see.
We're on that very.
Oh, This
Exactly.
is, they're doing
That's
something like
supposed
this in Colorado where you can like use it to get to a job there.
So-
Something too.
There's another tax credit program that runs parallel to that. For scholarship fund, it's called, but that's for private or non-public schools. So they can collect the same, they have different caps than we have. We have a cap of 15% of our general fund. Yeah, if nothing else. It's- and then lastly. Or two more things. Housing on the 27th of January, building for lease or rent permit was approved by the commissioners unanimously. We're still tracking for a mid to late August occupancy. This fire sprinkler design is what we're now. Kind of is our
We're good with
pressure.
the neighbors and everything.
It,
Everything's.
This was the first time that we had something before the commissioners that there were not any neighbors or any public comments sent in, and they were all notified as per law that
So everybody should be
this
happy.
is gonna be happy. They're at least quiet.
Take it.
And then this is also just more kind of something of interest, just out of the blue, some people want to do a media company wants to produce a snow blower commercial for Honda snow blowers here in Kansas. They're gonna compensate us and conduct the filming either with blurred students, so they're gonna hire their own actors.
They say why us or just,
They're
there a
gonna
particular-
do it in this region anyway,
yeah.
and they like the looks of the addition.
Oh,
They're gonna bring their own snow.
Yeah.
They said they would do something like that.
If needed. Be hilarious. Give a big sheet blowing snow.
And that's all I have.
Any questions? Okay, thank you, Dustin. I assume you're taking over Marlowe's?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So her report. Shift parent meeting, academics, we're now in full swing with semester 2. Report cards from our new system, Toddle, have been released, transcripts are all updated, your reports have been sent to the request universities. Students in 8th grade participated in the American Mathematics competition at Montana State University in January. It was really exciting to see those kids get out and challenge themselves. MAST, working through the second window of MAST testing. ACT prep begins next week with our juniors. And graduation pathways, Janet, Tim, and Marlo are beginning the process for the pathways with the 10th graders. In student life, published the 23rd edition of At the Peak. Nita has done a great job of putting together the weekly and middle and high school newsletter. Really proud to be able to show off the work of the staff and students through this newsletter. Ski days, thanks to the PTO and the resort for hosting the students. He's created a lot of great memories. Prom is slated for April 25th, Lone Mountain Ranch. I think that's the first time they've hosted it, so that's gonna be fun. And then the middle school student council and Interact Club are focusing on kindness this month with different activities and initiatives, from Valentine's Day celebrations to the daily kindness in action. Then on the professional learning front, Devin is our special education teacher in the high school. In middle school, and Marlo attended. An informative training with Dina Keller on school law. And then the science of reading, Devin, Joy, and Marlo completed a training on the science of school students.
For middle and high school students. Interesting.
Still busy. Great. Any other questions? Thank you for that, filling in. Move on to the elementary school, please.
Yes. It's always like that when we come in, so it's like, I guess this is just what we do. We need in darkness.
Let's see.
So there's a motion.
Well, we turned the motion sensor off because we hold parent meetings in here, and if you're just sitting and talking, the light will turn off, and then you're constantly.
Yeah.
So they're either on or off, you just have to decide. So we did wrap up semester one. It was a successful push out from our side with Toddle and digital report cards. The middle school and high school has been online a lot longer with Toddle and parents logging in and seeing the workflow. So there's a little bit of anxiety on our side, but we did it. It was not really, so that's exciting. With that, we've completed all middle of the year benchmark testing, and that has all been shared out with families so they know where their kids are. And it's not a end all be all test. It's just another thing to share with families. We wrapped up our final ski days, and I have a huge story from one of our students who showed up. Her dad had a lot of anxiety. She had a lot of anxiety. She'd never been on a bus. She'd never skied before, so it was a really big day. And when I checked in with her at the end of the day, she was like smile from ear to ear. She had the best experience. So yeah, and with that, it's also nice to be back in the building and get into a regular schedule again and just get back to regular programming. We do have 9 new students in the elementary, and I think 7 of those are permanent, which is really exciting. And I've done check-ins with all of them, and they're all very happy and excited to be on campus. And all comment that our lunch is better than this Friday is a PIR day, and our staff is attending some math training all day on Friday. And then we attended the law conference in Livingston, which is always very informative because she kind of talks about what's happening in the state, the trends that they're seeing. How do we make sure that we're taking this steps to best protect ourselves in the district? So that was informative. That's everything.
Okay. Yep. Questions? Right. You covering activities as well?
Yeah, I am, this is right. He's coaching. The regular season for high school teams just is kind of closing out the regular season. Friday is senior night celebrations versus Whitehall. District tournament, Manhattan Christian, February 25th to 28th. Divisional Lee and Billings the following week, you should be qualified. OMS girls, 7th and 8th grade girls are approximately 12-5, with 6-0 in the rural district. The 5th and 6th grade team is also undefeated in the rural district this year. Good job, coaches.
Yeah. Great. Move on to the business manager's report, please.
Okay. As Justin mentioned, we had our spring count on February 2nd. Everybody saw the numbers, and it helps determine our budget going forward. And it's looking like initially we're about the same, kind of, just a little fluctuation depending on things that are still yet to come in for this year. We're up to date with all payroll and liabilities for February. One really good thing is that we're able to pay off our bus barn this February. So that is really nice. It saves us a little bit on some interest. That is good. And we're moving along with the elections timeline. The close of candidate registration was February 9th. The deadline for any write-in candidates is March 2nd. Our resolution needs to be changed if we're going to do it by February 24th, which I'm going to talk about in discussion. Number 2. And that's it.
Dive deeper here shortly. Great, excellent, thank you. Yeah, really only a report, budget committee, we'll talk about that further on.
we can start that conversation actually right here.
Okay.
Further on, we'll be kind of more just about the ballot language. I put that, there's a handout in the packet, in the table packet, the very last 2 pages, front and back. So we met with the budget committee, just helped you, Libby, Matt and Nat. Yeah, and walk through really kind of a eagle view of the next 2 fiscal years following this fiscal year. So I'll turn it over to the committee members. Matt, you want to kick us off here, Matt Dodd?
Sure. I appreciate you and Libby and Corky giving us some time. What we're seeing is that things are trending, and I think generally in a positive direction in terms of minimizing our expenses and tightening the belts a little bit. We are still aware that our student numbers are down and may continue to trend downward as we're kind of still moving through that COVID hangover and people moving away. So I think that'll be the biggest concern as we move forward, is that our A and B numbers will continue to decline. And if they do, when the state recalculates based on our 3-year average, then our general fund may take a hit. Kind of anticipating that, the administration, I think, has done a good job figuring out where we can cut costs, and also looking forward to say, if we need to continue to invest in our teachers, which we do, where does that money come from so that we can continue to have good folks working with us and working with our children? So for the next 2 years, we're looking pretty good. We just have to be aware of, what's coming down the road, and that where we live is expensive. So you've always heard me say this: we have private school amenities of public school dollars. So we're still going to continue to look to the residents to help provide the opportunities that our kids have that other schools don't provide, or that other kids don't have. So the HB 408 dollars that we've talked about earlier in the meeting, we're really appreciative of the families that are able to help us with that, and families that are able to help either financially or by contributing hours and volunteer time. That releases some of the tension on our overall budget.
So what is, Dustin, you've said that in the past, but we can look at these numbers and see when that drop off begins. We get more money for high schoolers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we have these, is that the same? Does that start in middle school or high school?
7.
So as long, it's the 7th, 8th grade classes, not particularly the 7th, obviously, 37 kids. They're 5 years out from moving through. And I don't know, I'd have to go, but you must have calculated. When is that? Did you say it was like 6 years? If things stay stable?
Yeah, so I mean, the funding will be kind of about. We're gonna hit somewhat of a cliff in fiscal year 28. The high school will continue kind of that same enrollment trajectory until, I would say, like the 7th graders, right? If things kind of remain the same, I think we're graduating 28 this year.
Right, it's even Steven.
Yeah, it's even Steven for a little while. So the even Steven generally comes with about a 2.5% increase from the state that doesn't even cover the cost of propane, right?
What do you
display? I wanted to display that document, but so I think, just piggybacking on what Matt said, you can look,
Yeah.
At what kind of the additional public and private funding. So the additional public and private, let's just take this year, for example, it's 1.18 as outlined in that first grouping. Now, that's not only House Bill 408 and the reconciliation dollars from Ennis.
Right.
This is also federal funding, grant local foundations, on and on and on, right? Whatever we're able to bring in. You see that number drop slightly heading into fiscal year 27. It's gonna drop, well, you can see the
I see,
additional funding needed.
Mhm.
And if we flip to the back, ignore for now the levy impact. But if we look at, House Bill 408 and 846 going forward, that's gonna continue to kind of drop down. Our need is gonna also continue to drop down. So really, this is what we talked at length about yesterday. So the target for June and July of 2028 is to have 1.6. Even if the burn rate stays the same at 800,000. 800, yeah, let's call it 800,000 for a round number. If that burn rate stays the same, that drops down again to 8. But we can anticipate pretty with a high degree of certainty that we in 28 will also have the ability to bring in $1 million. Does that make sense? So then what we're really going to be speaking about, and part of what the budget committee spoke to as well, and I'll wait for the trustees until we get to that agenda item. We do have the ability to run a very minimal operations levy this year at 27. And that's where, as the agenda denotes, we'll be choosing the ballot language with or without. And then I think we had pretty rich conversations around that at the budget committee level, and happy to hear from anybody else on that committee. You should be able to show them.
I don't have anything else.
And Dustin, we're gonna speak to the levy at a different agenda item, right?
Yes.
Yeah, number 2.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks.
Yes, sir, yeah.
Anything else? On that as of right now? Questions? Okay. I will move on to discussion and action.
Or I
Any
can't,
questions?
let's,
Okay, yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready for second. I guess I know my assignment.
You go.
So,
Who's reading?
oh,
you were.
oh, okay, yeah, so I can read
Okay.
it. I just wanted to decide. I motion that we approve Glenn, how do you say his last name? Lassie?
Yeah.
Yeah. For a
Last, yes, I think that's what it is.
1.0 FTE for the school year 26-27.
I second that.
So this is for just our informational agenda item in number 7. And his paperwork's in the packet. We interviewed him online, and he came to the campus too and spent an afternoon with us looking do some further questioning. It was interesting though, when the job got posted, we interviewed 2 people right away, and he's gone dead since.
Yeah, interesting.
So I think he's gonna be, we both, it was Marlo and I, we really liked him. I think he's gonna be a great addition to the team.
And because I know, I saw he's getting his master's, but does he have teaching experience? I know.
He doesn't, so we're gonna assign him with one of our faculty, with a faculty as a mentor for next year. And then he'll be getting the theoretical piece through Montana State University.
Yeah, right.
And his gap in his work history, that's because he's been in school, because it looks like he hasn't done anything since 24.
I think it was that, and kind of he also spoke a lot about once he quit the career in finance, he just kind of decompressed in different places around the world. As I think like a semi-retirement for a little while.
Okay, I just was wondering if it was just something he didn't put on it.
Oh,
Yeah. He's 90
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions? Call for a vote. All those in favor?
I
Aye.
Matt, aye.
I,
Awesome that you got filled so fast.
Any opposed? Passed unanimously.
Okay.
Number 2.
I motion to move to open discussion on ballot language. Can we do that first? And then
Yeah,
the second
second.
motion would be to approve whichever we decide.
I second those. And then we get into discussion.
So I pulled up and I'm sharing that same document that you were looking at before. So as we head into fiscal year 27, it's really gonna, I'll try to get it to where those are kind of the only 2 things that we're looking at. So the first 3 is our anticipated revenue. Second is our anticipated expenditures. We do look for our expenditures to go down slightly with some attrition and a few other things. So we have the ability to run a levy for $27,000. You know, we're targeting $175,000 for increased payroll. We're going into negotiations very soon. And that we, could be across, that would be across the employee, not just certified and or classified across the entire employee group. So really what we need to decide here, so you have 2 ballots in your packet, one with the levy, and everything spelled out how it's supposed to be by law, like what that impact is. That's also available on this document. And then one is just the trustee positions, which really we don't do anything with that other than say there's these 2 and then the county will put those names in there. So that's okay. So
I see you recommend not putting on levy.
that
And-
was the recommendation, and I'll let the budget committee, we spoke at length about this.
It's nice not to be asked because even though it's nothing, it's something. These people, people are so riled up about property
Yeah.
taxes already. And since it's not material to a budget, I agree that
Yeah.
not having a
Yeah.
levy is a better idea.
And that was exactly our discussion, the property tax discussions have been
Well,
overwhelming.
they're insane.
Yeah. And-
People are
and-
going insane and they don't want to pay any more anywhere.
Yeah.
At all,
Regardless.
Yeah,
whether it's
it doesn't
school or
matter.
whatever, Yeah,
what it is.
yeah, and that was our thought process when we spoke,
I think you
so,
want to wait, yeah.
and again, it's not pivotal to our
So can I
budget
make,
coming forward, so.
so I would make the motion that we approve
Yeah.
ballot number, whichever one that doesn't have the levy,
Number 2.
or you can make.
I think it's number 2.
Matt, do you have anything to add to that at all, or everything sound good?
No, I think Barbara really hit the nail on the head. People, I think, are a little weary of that. I think it's good to take a year off.
And for everybody's knowledge too, we do have $109,000 building reserve levy that expires after fiscal year 27. So in order to renew that, that will have to go on next year.
Yeah.
So we'll have that the year after, so instead of doing.
So we
2
had
years
a
in row,
break, yeah.
break,
Yeah.
and make
Well,
another year.
I can't, have we recently done no levies? Has that happened
Last-
recently?
God.
I don't.
2 years ago, or was it? No, it wasn't
Years
last.
ago, maybe?
We did something last year, didn't we?
We did.
Last year we did something.
It was.
We did, last year was the $300,000 housing through.
I think it's
SARS.
great to slip in that
Okay.
we're somehow, if you can slip in somewhere, we're not asking for any more. Because you gotta point out that that it's not there.
Well, what, our bus barn's coming off, what else, there was,
So bus
Payments
barn will
to-
come out of the transportation, the payments to Bozeman and Corky can hardly be jumping in.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's gonna come off, so
Yeah.
in without this, the school's footprint in your tax is getting smaller.
Yeah.
After these things come up, after we pay these things
Yeah.
off.
so we could get a little placed thing sometime about how we paid off the bus. We're getting done with the Bozeman payments or, I think it's good. Because, they're just rabid. I'm on the
Yeah.
BSOA and they're just
Yeah.
insane. Like your house, you're assessed at $15 million.
Yeah.
Be happy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're all in agreement there.
Okay, so I made that motion. Would you second it? Or you make the
I-
motion? I seconded it.
You made it.
Uh-huh.
I second the motion to approve the language without the levy.
Any further discussion on that? Is that everything we need?
I think so.
Call for a vote. All those in favor?
I,
Aye.
I
Any opposed? Passed unanimously. Choice?
I motion to, or I move to approve the academic calendar number 3 for the 2026-27 school year.
I second that motion.
And it looked like that was what a
Everybody
majority
wanted.
of the staff wanted.
And from what I could see, I tried to look at it and figure out the big changes, what the big differences
What's
were.
the starting date?
The starting
the
date
starting-
slightly different, and then,
A little earlier.
and the breaks weren't quite as long throughout in the other two options.
Yeah.
I think the Christmas break was, or not Christmas, Thanksgiving was only the 3 days.
On the 3.
On the
Oh,
3, it's a week.
On the 3, it's a week. Christmas
3 is
weeks.
almost, 3 is the number of bigger
It's
hours.
super long,
They want-
and it's super
they
long
like them.
breaks.
They like the 4-day weekends, January and February.
And then to go, and then to go a full week at the end, as opposed to like finishing on.
Out of curiosity, why do we never look at any options where spring break moves or
Sorry?
goes away, or just out of curiosity, wondering if like why there's never any options where the spring break like is
Moves.
different. Yeah.
I think that's set with
resort.
testing ID. Well, it's not set with the
Oh,
resort
no.
anymore.
No,
It used to
anymore.
be set
It
with
used to
the-
be, that's kind of, you're talking about moving it earlier to be in a more traditional time frame, like
March.
March, Betsy,
Yes. Yeah. Or not at all. Or I mean,
or no spring break at all.
yeah. Or I mean, like an Easter break, or I don't just.
Uh-huh. No, but
Small
certainly
schools
that's
don't do
something
spring
we can consider next time going into a calendar committee.
But it does have to do with IB testing and
It does.
staying on target with that.
It-
Well, having it, but I think, before, so you'll remember because you were on the board, right? It was this is still kind of an orphan of the resort.
Yeah,
It's not though, because so initially we stayed with Bozeman High for years and years till we got to high school. So and then it was in March, because they were in March and MSU was in March. Then we made a big hullabaloo about this is an economy dominated by a ski season, and it should fall with the ski season. And then and that happened for a while.
Right.
And then
Because of employees. kids,
because employees have kids and they can't go on spring break in March or
seasons,
February.
Right.
It's in fact 2 weeks at Christmas is pretty,
Well, there's already
Pretty
been
hard.
earlier than to.
yes, but now it's, well, it always varies. The resort always varies with Easter.
Right.
And so then it went to this April, and I was always told that had to do with IB. Because that doesn't have to do with Bozeman, MSU, or the ski area. Because
Yeah,
the ski area is still the ski.
You were told in the
later,
exact place.
later.
So what is it? Why is it?
So you will remember, we had a meeting talking about moving to March, and this
Yeah.
room was full of people who worked for Big Sky Resort.
Yeah.
In addition to faculty members who had spouses
And
that
everyone
worked for
was
Big
in
Sky
favor.
Resort.
Yeah.
They did not want it to
They
be.
did not,
They did not want it moved to
because it would
March.
still be,
March is bad. April's a little bit, but we're still operating. Ski area is still operating when the
Right.
spring break is. So there's
Yeah, but
people,
historically it did not. Historically, the resort closed a week or two earlier than it does now, which
historically,
made a dead lineup.
it always fell with Easter, and then they started,
well,
unless Easter was really early.
and we were like a
We
week
may
later.
have had a little bit of talk about this in my house.
Well, because even at that meeting,
Yeah.
one of the other trustees, we looked at, the calendars of other, what was the term at the time that Troy meant, but
Ski areas,
destination.
destination ski areas.
And the school and the resort closing had no connection whatsoever.
Not that's different, because Telluride did. It was interesting. Telluride did a fall break.
I'm just talking about at the
Yeah.
time that we reviewed this
Yeah.
in like 2018-19. So
Yeah, because we
So
tried,
so why is it in April?
because that's the majority of the people that still
traditionally,
wanted
that's
it.
when it's been.
That's when people wanted to have it still. We haven't gone back drawing board, desk.
So traditionally is a fun one,
Yeah,
though,
but
because
later in
the tradition, whenever we started the high school, before we got to high school, the tradition was absolutely follow MSU. Because the kids were in the high school there, so we followed Bozeman's. So, and Bozeman's was MSU and that was March.
So the new
So tradition, okay, thank you. Thank you, because tradition is.
It was more dominated by families at the resort.
Yeah.
And then
And that was
tried
a
to,
little
and then
later.
we, right,
Yeah.
and then we revisited that in 18-ish.
Mhm.
And everyone was still on board to have that
But they
stay
didn't-
where it is.
I'm just
And that
curious,
was the
why
last
does
time.
Betsy want?
That's
Why
the
is
last time,
Betsy doing that?
It seems like when I'm like subbing, it seems like it's really late in the year, like the kids are ready for a break earlier, and
Okay,
it messes up if your kids do any spring sports. It messes up the spring sports because the other schools use those weekends for track meets and
Well,
other
that's what's
events.
good.
And so I was just curious if anybody's like considered moving it
well, I think
earlier.
it's interesting what you say,
We could have that
because
discussion again.
it's just fundamentally getting input from parents and people like yourselves. Do you really want to go on break then, or would you rather in April? Would you rather be out of school earlier and not have a spring break? You know, or have Christmas?
No, they need a break.
Yeah.
Everybody
Well,
needs.
she's saying, I agree, it's kind of, I mean,
Here's what I would say from an operational standpoint, and there's a principal and two teachers and a former teacher back in. Please remember, you can participate in this discussion. We could cancel all breaks, if people wanna take a week trip,
Right.
take a week trip.
that's true. I know.
Yeah.
I know, I'm
Yes,
just,
they would,
And then
Yeah.
the staff
What about-
doesn't get a week trip,
right.
right? Then the staff.
oh, the staff,
Yeah,
works,
staff
but
takes that.
they would potentially
No,
get,
that would be terrible.
but potentially,
The,
you get a longer summer.
with the mountain extending the season, we can't wait for the mountain to close and
No.
take spring break the 1st of May.
Right.
Like you just,
no, you
Because then
can't.
we come back and IB testing is so close,
Yeah,
that was our
I agree
discussion,
with that, I'm just trying.
that we don't have the room.
I
to
just think it's
facilitate.
always worth revisiting as it goes along, because I see her point. And when you see it's all crammed in, you come back, but you don't really come back, so you're really close to May. And then then you're going into all the end of school things,
Right.
and you're done. And so I can see her point of moving it up, but it really wouldn't work with the resort, so that's why I'm kind of. Having not spoken to you about it, Betsy, but I'm just trying to like play with what you're saying, that I agree that it feels late.
It's certainly later than
And,
any public school in Montana that takes a full week.
and so then the question is, if you looked, what we did years ago was analyze how many people are gone for 2 weeks in the April. And so when
Yeah.
that happens, then you say, okay, if that's the
Yeah.
case, you just go through and say, you guys all want to take your breaks whenever they take their breaks whenever they want
Yeah.
anyway. Because we're dealing with all of this.
That's what we
And
do.
so then it's immaterial when spring break is, because they're gonna go on spring break whenever they want to go on.
Well, that's
spring
what we
break.
do with Thanksgiving.
That's exactly what we
And that's
did.
what we shorten
Break,
Thanksgiving, and that's what we said.
Break, but you
Right.
do, if you go that way, you do
Yeah.
get out of school earlier. And you have the potential to, you know, whatever, I don't know, and there's also, because
I mean, I'm not arguing
I'm not either.
no spring break, but I'm just saying it might be worth like asking the teachers if they would like an earlier break or
Well, the teachers
considering
weighed
that
in on
with-
this.
you did last
yeah.
year.
Didn't they weigh in on this? There was a survey.
I mean, they only weighed in on, there were three options.
The three options
Were basically,
They're the
right.
same, that they were basically.
It's almost the same skeleton.
Yeah,
We had one spring break earlier, one was later.
and it was playing around with
And
those
they-
other things.
Yeah.
And I mean, now it's not that bad because the calendar's gradually shifting to earlier. Spring break is the first week in April
Right,
this year.
which is
It's
bad.
not.
It's been the first week in April. Because that's when I usually do it.
And before that, it was kind of that second, it was later.
Yeah.
For those few years.
Yeah, it was later.
Prior.
Sometimes it would depend. They
Yeah.
would call, the school would
Yeah.
figure out when the resort was, it would change year to year.
So I mean, it's certainly something we could revisit again if we wanted to, but
Well, I think in general, looking at ways as we look at falling enrollment. And everyone talks about, of course, you want to have a good school to draw people here. The other thing you want to have is happy parents, parents that feel that the school is somehow
and staff.
working with and staff, but staff we pay and
Right,
children
yeah.
bring money.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we don't have enough kids, we
Right.
have to let those staff go. So
Yeah.
let's be real
Yeah.
about that. And we want to have
We can-
enrollment, we want to grow the school. You figure out ways to make parents feel heard and having their
Yeah.
convenience. And there's so much flexibility since we're hours, not days of school to get things that parents want. I don't know what parents want. I have children are
Yeah.
out of college. But I think it's worth like the calendar committee trying to revisit things that don't work.
There.
I know sometimes those little elementary, the days that are out there where there's a break for
Have the-
a vacation day or something. That's really hard on working parents to cover those, you
We have
know,
a program right in the building now. I think they.
thank you. So perfect.
Which
Okay,
is nice. Yeah.
that's good to know.
And the art program runs specialty items too.
Perfect.
And what was our
So we should.
response from parents on the
They like
survey?
three.
I mean, like defendant wise,
It's huge.
How many?
yeah, was it a good chunk? I didn't really
I mean,
pay attention to that.
In addition to staff, it was something I want to say.
Yeah.
Responses.
I mean, so that's a pretty good representation.
I thought it was interesting. Like I have 3 kids in the school, and so but you can only vote once.
I know, I thought I should have had, I thought
I'm
I
not
should
sure I should have
have.
3 votes.
It's
Yeah.
embarrassing it is, and it's like,
Get a bunch of votes.
no can do.
Well, any further discussion on that? Is there? Sounds like we have our decision made.
So, option 3.
All
Um,
right, well, let's call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Matt, I.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Move on to number 4,
Okay.
please.
I move to approve the MOU with Greater Gallatin United Way as presented. Which does not change.
Second.
Second,
So it's in the packet, it's the same one that we've been just been having them for the great into the summer. They do a good job.
Yeah, we've never had any issues, so. Call for a vote. All those in favor?
I,
Aye.
Any opposed?
I
Passes unanimously.
Why is number 5 tabled?
They didn't get the information.
Oh, I see it, okay. I didn't think there's any issue. Okay, I move to approve the additional language to policy 8225 as presented. I do have
Oh,
I
questions.
second that.
I do have some questions.
Yeah, but I'm second it now.
Thank you.
Not that I think it's a bad idea,
That's fine.
but
So it's in the packet. That's the tobacco-free policy. We've had some incidences of vaping in our bathrooms. And we'd like to, have vape detectors ready to help remedy this. And that we do need some additional language in the policy, which is highlighted in purple.
Yeah.
That you guys authorize that, and then, should you approve this, we'll message out to parents, so
okay,
everybody's.
so
So I don't know anything about
it
vaping.
can be done immediately.
I'm just going to reveal that
It
I
can,
know
yeah.
nothing about vaping.
Be
So
done
you
immediately.
can't smell it.
Oh, you can
You
smell
can
it.
smell it.
Yeah.
So these, what do these do? Obviously, I agree
No,
with you.
you,
He's trying to
you
understand.
were in the bathroom vaping.
Okay,
Now,
I'd like
what
to be a
about when
responsible.
adults
Okay.
use not that they should be doing it either, but I know.
So
some
we're
law-
only talking about 2 specific bathrooms, the one in the steam wing and then the one by the library, which is the most commonly used
Personally vaped.
by students. So you wouldn't be, more the more public facing bathrooms that are PE centers
So,
and the Wampac.
Okay, so those are, okay, that makes sense.
and
and
then
you can't vape anywhere in schools, right?
No,
No, but
but
that's-
But nobody's.
it's just
doing it.
another line of.
yeah,
Showing the kids that we have to step out there.
yeah, I think it's good.
And what's been how many issues have we had lately, or? What's
I mean-
been the,
It's really hard to, suspicions.
right,
Doesn't,
yeah,
um.
just by people going in there and they can smell it.
Well, you can
thinks it's
smell it, but
happening.
then you've gotta go. cameras,
Right.
then it's very difficult, 3 or 4
Right.
people have gone and come from the bathroom in that time frame when somebody detects it.
Yeah.
Right, okay. And these will be noticeable, it'll be made public, obviously, to students, everybody, that, hey, these are in there now. Find a new way to fool them. And are they pretty sensitive, are there more than one, or?
Do they blare
I think
and
Andrew
make
put it
lights
in.
go? Cause that would be the best.
Andrew
It's-
made it.
it's basically like that white box there.
Can they
and
take
it's
your
one
picture?
per
Like when it happens?
Right.
Musical
Yeah.
bath.
How does it have to be close to the people that are doing it, or can they, like, as they walk out, do they direct smoke at them and catches?
My understanding is it just as long as it's in that room, it's looking at particle sizes of which are in the air.
That's the installation of it.
It wouldn't get it from another room. It's just gonna be physically in there, but as long as it's happening in there, it should. There's.
That's how I recognize this.
Yeah.
Particles in the air.
So is it like a smoke alarm? Like,
It looks just like a smoke alarm. It just has a little bit more
But it-
technology in it.
But would that
but
be the
does it
noise?
sound like a smoke alarm and everyone comes running, or how
That's
does
what
it?
The door-
I mean, that's an option.
Ah,
The goal would be to have them just remain silent. There's no notification that it has triggered other than a back end, like.
Right in.
Right, and you can time stamp it better to see who was in there, things like that.
They wouldn't know that it had been detected. It
Uh,
would just, yeah.
Until we confront it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
Sneaky.
Any other questions? No. I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Passes unanimously. We don't need a motion for
No.
number 7.
No, that's just more informational. I think Brad's been with us for 8 years, I think.
We said this is the
Good
7th.
math
yeah.
teacher.
Yeah.
No, I think you're right. That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's ready for 30 years in public schools in Montana.
Time to do some fun.
Yeah.
Or-
More fun.
Great.
So this.
I move to assign the policy committee as the ad hoc committee for incident review.
Give me a second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Seconds.
Oh, second.
Thank you.
Is this in the book? Or this would be something we would have to add to the handbook.
I don't think it would be a
It's
handbook
not a policy.
necessarily.
Okay.
It would be more procedural, probably, that would become part of the emergency operations plan, so. Really, this kind of comes from. The students. Kind of walk out a couple Fridays ago on the 30th. And I'd like some input on, kind of the procedures that we followed leading up to that. And then the end result to be some kind of a procedure that we, share here and share with the community on how we're gonna on what the protocols would be handling those things moving forward as, you never know, we might start to see more of this. And I just think it would be a wise idea for all of us to be on the same
Yeah.
page.
Can you
with it.
give us, who were in the school building, and don't know, did you chat about this? I saw that they did it. Did we know that they were gonna walk out?
I mean, we were made aware, yeah.
Okay, so. What has been, we had these before, I think we.
The
Yeah.
school handled it great, I thought,
We had.
as a parent.
We had one some time ago, about. That was a long time
What
ago.
was it? I
School
remember.
violence.
School violence.
And I think, all steps and procedures that were done this last time, because it was a lot bigger and it was a lot more emotional, I guess I could say. Review that in the ad hoc as well.
So would this be like, for how this, just the administration addresses it, or is this a way for the kids to go through a process? No, okay,
It would be the same as if we didn't have something in place in case there was an
okay.
we have.
Well, it does seem like we need I guess, a policy. What was the
Yeah.
response? What happened after? Were parents upset about it?
I mean, I think it's a good idea. Parents upset are all parents happy like that. So
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea from a risk management and everything
Yeah.
else perspective.
To have a
Yes.
policy. Okay.
Not necessarily policy, but
A
procedure
procedure of what you
that's been
do,
approved by the
Yeah.
when
board
it
that
happens.
goes.
because then I'm just curious, I just saw them on the front of the paper, that's it. It looked like it was a good look around town, that kids were
Yeah, but
expressing themselves.
you have to know that all the kids are accounted
Right,
for, that, you know,
right, I get it.
it's not picked
I
up
get
on
it.
the
And
line.
that's
I
what
get
this
it.
would- that's what
Guys, I
this
just
would-
am getting context of what
Right.
happened,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
We
I-
received an email that stated like one of your children left, like we were notified of it and that it was peaceful. I think is kind of the main gist. I can send it to you, Barbara, if you'd like.
I just really wanna understand what happened, just so that I know when I'm out in.
I think that's the point of the ad hoc committee, Barbara.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes
Well,
sense.
that doesn't tell me what happened last week, it will tell me what will happen.
Yeah, I think that should be part of exactly what happens in the ad hoc meeting
Okay.
is to review the steps and procedures.
Okay.
And then follow it.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you, thank
Yeah.
you.
And
Just trying to get educated during the school.
this policy committee, I mean, are we good with that?
That's Matt and
And me,
Barbara.
yeah,
And then we'll invite Matt Doherty at middle school, high school, well, possibly middle school, high school, or elementary school. Middle school.
All right, any other discussion?
No,
Call for a vote, all those in favor?
I,
I,
Bye.
Matt, I.
Any opposed? Passed unanimously.
So I'll be in touch and hopefully we can have this buttoned up for something in front of the board in March, Matt and Barbara.
All right, thank you.
okay, I think we have to do the
consent
consent.
agenda.
Consent agenda.
Yeah, I motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second,
Any discussion?
no,
What
Call
is-
for a vote.
Oh, mandatory out of district students, is that just our,
Passed.
Aye.
yeah,
Actually, there's not.
We don't have a
Okay,
consent.
okay.
Call for a vote, all those in favor?
I,
Bye.
Matt,
Any
I.
opposed? Any opposed? Passed unanimously.
Okay.
Future meeting dates, Tuesday, March 10th and tentatively April 14th. Anything else? Meeting adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Thank you.